Okay, it's been a long time since I filmed. My last YouTube video was, before I left, this past June. I moved. I'm in Massachusetts, which is exciting. I've been here since June 17th of this year, and I also cut my hair. the two big main things in the room. A little bit of a tattoo update. It's doing okay. Everything's good. Still moisturizing everything. We're trying to find a tattoo artist because this is the time of year my boyfriend's mom likes to go and get her tattoo. And she rescheduled hers, so I'm gonna ask if I can go with her, so I can meet the artist and everything, see what his style is like and everything, and go from there. I do know that he has an apprentice that is like wanting to do like fine line, like watercolor stuff, which I think I might take an interest in. We went to the Renaissance the other day, and I got me a new ring. It'll focus. I hate it. But you can see it there. It's like a peridot, kinda. We went to Orlando. Orlando, Florida was fun. I got to ride on a couple of rides. But I wanted to film this because I decided to call out of work today. I felt like crap. Since I moved out here, I've been eating a lot more seafood, and I was wondering if maybe that was like something that was going on. Because my period has been bad. It's been heavy. But I've been doing a lot more physical, like bending and twisting and lifting and all that kind of stuff at work. I got a new job. I also make a little bit more money. I am a florist at a grocery store, which isn't the worst thing, but also isn't kind of the best, because I've been having some issues trying to, get my footing, because here it is September. I've been there since July, and every single time I touch something, it seems like it's been wrong. So I've been having a difficult time, like, grasping what it is that I need to do in what order, because everyone's like, oh, it's just a kind of go with the flow kind of situation. You have to, like, find your own footing and find your own pace and all that kind of stuff. But then every time I think I have something, it's wrong. My manager will come in and she's like, what the hell happened to the floor? Like, it looks awful and all this kind of stuff. Like, nothing's out, nothing's watered properly. And it's like, okay, because you're telling me as an employee different things that's on the card to tell the customer when they purchase the plant. And then, like, she's telling me something different every day. There's no consistency. And for the most part, people are kind of just go with the flow. Unless it's a project she has you working on, then you need to be listening to her. And then I'm being told one thing by my store manager, who is different than my department manager. And they don't communicate. They communicate through me. And it's just a pain in the ass situation. But I have been entertaining the idea of going to college. Trying to save up to go to college, at least for a semester, at least taking like one class and just paying for that one class, because I know I can do that online. I'm debating on doing like accounting or bookkeeping or something along those lines, which is something that I'm interested in. Like, I'm interested to try to get things organized and like get more comfortable with numbers and all that kind of stuff, because I'm not. And I'm wanting to expand what little knowledge I have, so I can at one point be able to go, oh, I have, this certificate that says that, I'm able to do all this different stuff, like, bookkeeping, accounting, all that kind of stuff, and be able to get like a more routine-based job, and then do like my own thing that's like not based in routine, like getting a cup of tea instead of coffee or something like that first thing in the morning. And I can't really do that at the grocery store I'm at, because there's not enough room to put anything. There's not even enough room to put my tiny little purse, which is also new, anywhere, and my water bottle, which I'm constantly told is always in the way. So I'm I'm not as happy as I would like to be. I already got out of one bad work situation, and I just turned 25. I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, I'm still living with parents, or I'm living with my boyfriend's parents. I need to try to figure out my own footing, and I'm trying to expand my knowledge and expand my abilities in general. I'm trying to see if there's anything like I can do that's for free online to be able to open that door for typing or accounting or something like that. Trying to do something like that. I remember growing up, I was constantly told that you needed to have everything figured out by the time you were 25. That is bullshit. You will never have everything figured out by the time you're 25. You should not be, like, having to wonder what it is that you're wanting to do with the rest of your life. Honestly, at any given point. Like, my boyfriend's mom is going back to college. She's doing more stuff that has to do with her career at the moment. But she has done a whole bunch of different jobs. And so has her husband. And this is my second job. My second big girl job. Technically, it's my third. But, like, you hear florists at a grocery store and you're like, oh, you get to play with flowers all day. I mean, I water the flowers outside because we have got, like, the outdoor plants. I have to water the flowers outside. I have to organize the flowers outside. And then it's never organized in the right way. And then there's pumpkins, everything's seasonal, that's different. And then there's having to change the water in the buckets that we keep the fresh flowers in to keep them nice. And then rotating stock and like going in and out of the cooler. And then we have weddings and funerals and graduations and birthdays and all that kind of stuff we have to do. And then we have balloons and then we have the houseplants we have to take care of, which apparently I can only take care of in my own house. And it gets to the point because of the fact there is no starting point. Like, I thought when I got hired, my first thing to do first thing in the morning would be to go water the flowers. And then there are moments where I don't make it to, because there's 2 tables that I have to work on. There's the natives, which are all the flowers that we get from a local farm. And then there's our normal stock. Then there's our orchid table, or like our big plant table, which is fine. And then there's a corner that we have all the houseplants in. The houseplants are the last thing on my mind because usually I water them on Wednesday. You're not supposed to water them for like another day or two, depending on the plant. And there is no tag anywhere for me to know what needs watered and what doesn't. So me and all my coworkers have either overwatered or underwatered the majority of that window. And our manager will come in and she's like, oh, well, this needs fixed. Everything that I have already done is wrong. Like, I'm not supposed to put all the product out, but we should have more of that product. But we don't have it in yet because we didn't get our order on time because it's raining outside. And it's like, it's too unpredictable. My other job was so predictable, I got bored. I need to find a happy middle. I need to find a happy middle, or I need to pick up another hobby. But I had such a bad day yesterday that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm under a lot of stress. I don't feel good. I'm dizzy. I'm nauseous from my period and everything. If I go in today, I am going to throw myself out the window or I'm going to quit. So I called off. I'm allowed to do that. This job does not have a point system or anything like that. They are desperate for people at the moment, so I'm okay. My job security is not, I haven't called off at any given point. I got COVID. It wasn't that bad. I had a 24-hour fever after we got back from Florida, and found out on my birthday. Yeah, what'd you get for your 25th birthday? COVID and a raging headache from my work. But I went into work that Saturday that we got back that I didn't think that I wasn't supposed to work because I told my manager I'd be back when she didn't put me on the schedule. And she was like, oh, well, you came in and you had COVID, so you've got to be out for 4 more days. I didn't know that. I had to talk to my store manager, and like I said, they don't talk to each other, and it's annoying. But it's difficult for me to find common ground on where to start. So, like, you know, the first thing you would do at an office job, you would get in and you check your email. You'd get in, you'd log in, you'd check your email, you'd make you a cup of coffee, you'd have a set routine, you'd have projects due at the end of the week. Like my boyfriend's mom, I'm not going to say what she does, but she's, she'll get like an email in first thing in the morning after she makes her coffee and has her breakfast and everything and takes the dogs out. She'll sit down, she'll open her computer, and she'll check her work email that has a project that she has to work on, and she has that project to get done by the end of the week, on top of schoolwork, on top of a second job, because she works 2 of them because she just wants to. And like, but they're very similar. Wake up, have your breakfast, have your cup of coffee, open email, work on projects the majority of the day. Your cutoff is at like 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is the cutoff. You do 8 hours. No more, no less. My manager wants me to come in at 6 o'clock in the morning, work for 8 hours, and then stay until the section closes at 6, when everybody else doesn't show up, including her, until like 10:30, and wants me to do the weddings and the funerals and all the events that we have to go to and set up. And she's like, I still don't drive. I have to get a new permit, which kind of sucks, but I have to get a new permit because my outside permit does not work in this state because I'm supposed to be a resident, but I can't apply for a residency until a certain time of year. So it's at the end of this year, beginning of next, I can apply. And I have 8-hour shifts with 1 break, usually 1 30-minute break, where I'm supposed to be taking 3, 2:15 and then my 1:30. And yet I can't, because she's constantly giving me 40 things at a time to be able to do, and then wants them all done at the same time in such a small space. Like, think your average size bedroom, that is our floral department. And it gets annoying. But there's not a lot of consistency. There's not a lot of structure. It's a lot of jumbled mess everywhere that, like, okay, nobody has a set answer. So I asked my manager the other day, I was like, okay, so first thing in the morning, I need to water the plants, and then I need to come in and I need to check the local table, right? And she's like, yeah, you need to do that. And then I'm like, okay. And then I start like working my way from table to table and then make my way back to the window. And she's like, no, you need to do outside plants, window, table. Like, okay. And I did that. And then she'll come in and be like, oh, but these plants are so dry, or these plants are overwatered. Or she'll come in, she'll look at all the buckets that I already scrubbed in hot water and cleaned with our special cleaner for flowers, and rotated the flowers and everything. She'll pull a couple out and she'll be like, oh, these flowers are bad. And I'm like, I'll look at them. I'm like, oh yeah, they are. I'm sorry, I didn't notice that. And I'll put them in our waste bin. Not to throw away, but we have like waste buckets that we'll go through to process to see how much money we like could have made, would have made. Like, I don't know. Nobody's able to explain that process to me either, because everybody has a different way of doing it. We're supposed to cut the price tag off of the flowers for the flower name and for the price of it. And we're supposed to write down however many we did, put them in a clip, so that my manager can then scan everything with a little scan gun to be able to put it into the system. Well, only she is able to do just about everything. So, like, I did that, and I wrote down what was what, and, you know, tearing apart some of the flowers that were bad, and, you know, she'll keep some of the ones that aren't the prettiest, for practicing wrapping bouquets, which I can do. And everyone's like, oh, you'll find your own style for wrapping a bouquet. And I'll try to do that, and my thing is kind of like how you do an ice cream cone, like turning it to get at all the corners. So like I'll pick one real big, bright, pretty flower, put it in the middle, and then I'll put the little ones like around it, and I'll rotate it at the same time so it's like even on all sides. And the amount of time she's like, why are you doing it that way? You can't be doing it that way. Do it the way that I showed you. I'm like, you have bigger hands than I do. I can't do this. This is an $80 bouquet with 2 hydrangeas or 2 flowers that have a stem the width of my thumb. My hands are not that big. Like, it's really not that big. And you're trying to not break the flowers. You're trying to not, like, upset the customer. You're trying to not smush them, bruise them anyway. And, like, you know, she'll tell me a good job on something, and then I'll do it the exact same way again, and then she's like, oh, picking at everything. Oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You need more of this, you need less of this. This needs to be up here. No, you need less of that. I don't know. I came in there and I told her point blank, I'm like, I don't have any experience in this. I'm going to need you to be patient with me and to help me if I ask a question. And it's like I said, everything is wrong. I douse the flowers outside every morning because they are dry as a bone, unless we get new product in. But then again, I do that at 6 o'clock in the morning. I leave at 3. So, like, that's 8 hours. And then we'll go outside to check on something, and she'll see the flowers, and she's like, oh my God, Sarah, these are so dry. You have to absolutely douse these. I'm like, do you want them to root rot, or do you want them to be watered? I'm not watering them in the sun. I'm not baking them in the sun. That was the big no-no I was always taught by my mom and my nan. And she's like, well, you have to get the hose. Well, the store manager doesn't let us get the watering hose because of people being outside. They don't want anyone to trip. Anyone to trip or fall because it's a safety hazard. It's like, okay, so I can't win for losing. Everything I'm doing is wrong. I'm too short to be able to reach half of anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring out the step stool. And then she's yelling at me because I brought out the step stool. I'm like, because I need it. Do you want this done? Or do you want me to waterboard myself? Pick one. Like, oh my God. So I'm keeping my options open for a different job. I need something which is a little bit more structure. Doesn't have to be like a perfect routine, but it needs to have some kind of a structure. Like, I'm trying, like I was saying, like trying to figure out a schedule. Okay, first thing in the morning, you water the plants outside. You reorganize the plants outside. You pull out any that are bad, and you leave any that are good. But that's the thing too. I will pull what is dead, gone, and probably needs to just be thrown out, and she'll be like, why are you throwing that out? You're throwing away money, and getting mad and everything. And I'll show her how bad it is, and she's like, well, I'll take it, and I'll put, the plant food in it and everything, and I'll make it better. And then she ends up throwing it away. There were flowers that had mold on them that she wanted to keep because she wanted to use it for practice arrangements. And, me and my coworker, because I'm never alone, me and my coworker are like, you shouldn't be keeping that. That's going to be a health hazard. And one of them actually works full-time, for the most part, in a health care facility, and is like, this is a really big health hazard. One of the most known allergens is mold. And she's like, oh, well, we'll just wash that off. And she'll wash it off and she'll keep it to just use as filler for whatever it is that she's wanting to use. But, like, fuck, for God's sakes, like, water the flowers first thing in the morning, change the water in the buckets, prune everything, rotate stock, and then if there's a shipment in, a delivery in, I have to get that out of the way, I have to get that stamped, I have to get everything off of the skid before she comes in, because then nobody can come into the department to look at anything. We have ribbon that we can wrap the bouquets in, but then, like, I'm asking because I'm getting asked first thing in the morning when nobody else is there, like, hey, do you charge for ribbon? Can I get ribbon instead of raffia, which is like a straw that you can wrap around the base of wrapped bouquets with pretty paper and plastic? And I'm getting told yes by one coworker, no by another. My manager is giving me those two answers, and then no one is giving me a price. Like, one person said, like, it's like, oh, it's 5 cents per yard, or another one is like, oh, it's $1 per yard, and the other one is like, no, it's $2.99 per yard. I'm like, what is it? I'm getting so many different answers from everybody because everybody has their own way of doing shit. I'm like, yeah, I wanted to have a job where I could work with a team, but at the same time be allowed to be independent, which I can be. There are a lot of independent projects she's had me on since I started that I do pretty well at. Like, I know I can make a pretty decent floral arrangement, and I know how to wrap a bouquet, and I know I can put the ribbon around bouquets, bridal bouquets, and all that kind of stuff. I know how to work with the wire. I know how to organize everything over there, and like, I'm learning stuff about plants. I've got plants now. I bought my boyfriend an orchid, and I bought myself an orchid, and I got myself a hobbit plant, which is also considered a money tree, and which I need. But like, oh my god, it gets to the point where it's like, so what is it that I'm doing right? Because at this point, I'm wondering if I'm breathing wrong. It's kind of like when you open TikTok and everything on there is like, oh, this is the one of the things that you could be doing wrong. This is the other thing you could be doing wrong. This is the other thing you could be doing wrong. And it's basic stuff like washing your dishes, blow drying your hair, doing your nails. And you're like, okay, am I fucking breathing right at this point? Them saying that coffee's gonna kill you and all that kind of stuff. My boyfriend's mom just bought an espresso machine. We're drinking a lot of coffee. I'm gonna die young. But, oh my god. That's too much water in that pot. That's not enough water in that pot. Why are you topping off the water? I told you didn't have enough water in the pot. Because you told me to. And then the balloons. We have to do the balloons in the store. And we'll get told first thing in the morning that that is something that we need to do. Balloons are the last thing on my fucking mind. People come over all the time and ask for the ones that are up there. And I'll take my sweet ass time blowing up those balloons because they decide to wait until the last minute. And it's not that I'm trying to be a bitch. It's that they're being an asshole. They're like, you need to be doing this faster. And I'm like, you should have prepared sooner. The amount of people that will come in there, a lot of snarky old men that are like, oh, you guys get the easiest job. You get to just play with flowers all day. Unlike my job, where I get to sit in a corporate office with my thumb up my ass 90% of the time. Or, like, we'll get... we have a lot of foreign population around here. We'll get them come in and they're like, oh, well, what do you mean? Like, you have to charge for this flower. This is just like a little white, like, baby's breath. Like, this is just white filler. Like, no, it isn't. We have to charge for it. It's $4.99 for a bundle. You wanted that and the fresh roses in the hutch that you say aren't fresh. That just got in yesterday. Or just got opened this morning. That are still in the box. Because you came up to me and shoved me out of the way to grab the bundle of flowers. And I'm not, like... I listened to my dad's stories. My dad was a merchandiser for a soda company for years. And he was told that it was the worst experience, that kind of thing. Just, Sorry, I hear my boyfriend's mom. But it was just a bad day yesterday. I just needed a break. And I'm lucky enough to be able to take that break when I need it. But, it's annoying. Like, everything was wrong, and my stomach is cramping from my period, and then I'm trying to clean out these buckets that had produce in them, and they stink. And my boyfriend who works maintenance is trying to help me, and he's seeing the look on my face, and I'm doing my best not to, like... Because when I get mad, I start to cry. And I hate that. That is my biggest annoyance. Because everyone's like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm like, it's not that you're hurting my feelings. It's that I know if I lash out, I'm going to get fired. It's aggravating. Like, okay, so what is right in this situation? What is... You guys keep telling me that everything is wrong. So, like, how do I fix it? Like, oh, Audrey will take care of it. So-and-so will take care of it. It's like, really? And then they'll complain because the manager has to take care of everything. I'm like, you told me to wait for her. It's annoying. But, I updated my resume. As long as somebody's willing to teach me, I'm willing to learn. But the thing is that nobody's really willing to teach me. They have a big turnover rate when it comes to the floral department at the grocery store, so... we'll see how that goes. But really quick, Leslie is going to be my cat. He's going to be on his way here. I got his food and litter and all that kind of stuff. I got him a new litter box. I got him a stainless steel litter box to make sure that like there would be no situation of like him accidentally marking on the floor or anything. Because his old one is plastic and it'll hold moisture. And I was reading that, especially when it comes to tomcats, you want like a stainless steel litter box or one that can be like wasted or like thrown away, like a disposable one. So I splurged and spent $60 on a stainless steel litter pan. Here's the pan. This is what the lunch ladies would come out with. This is what I'm gonna be baking Ryland's mac and cheese in tonight. I'm joking. But, like, this is his litter box. It's got the little rubber pads on it and everything. It's his litter box. It's... And then these are his food and water bowls. That's a human-sized bowl. But it's ceramic. But, I got them off, Chewy. The last thing I have to get him is a vet appointment and, toys. Ryland said that he's gonna take care of everything else, and then I have to pay Ryland to, what was it? I have to pay Ryland to pay the service that's driving him, because I didn't go and get him and my parents aren't driving out. So, yeah, he should be here sometime next week. I'm really excited. But that was my little life update. COVID, stressful job, haircut, tattoos good, looking for more. I think that's just about it. Riley and I made a YouTube channel. It's called Flip That Tea, which I'm going to try to have on here as well, and we'll talk about it. It's just basically us talking. It's like a podcast with a visual, really. Like, it's a lot of stuff that's based off of just, like, our relationship and how we communicate with each other. It's, if you've ever watched Brain League with Ethan Nestor and Jacksepticeye, then it's about the same. Just having a romantic aspect in it. But that is all I have for my little update. So yeah, I hope you guys didn't mind listening to me rant for 30 minutes, but I will see you guys in my next videos. Bye. Hopefully I'll be in a better headspace by that point.